What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Gore here, and I've got the Cadet and the Brutus Spincast reel. Now, if you're in the market for a Spincast reel and you're shopping KastKing, you might go, well, what's the right Spincast reel for me? Well, let's break down some of the similarities and the differences between these two Spincast reels from KastKing. Alright, so let's break right into it. First of all, let me get this box out of the way. By the way, this is the box for the Cadet. This box here goes to this reel here. Alright, so taking a look at it, we can see a couple differences right off the bat between the two. The Brutus, black and red with the honeycomb cone there, and the Cadet, it's blue, silver with some black highlights to it, but you can also get it in a red, black, and silver highlights there. Single handle, double handle. Well, let's dive a little deeper and see some of the similarities and differences a little bit more. So, as we can see, they're both relatively small, compact reels in comparison to my large hands. And yes, I've got some big old bear mitts. Anyhow, but they both do qualify as small, low-profile reels. Now, the Brutus, obviously, being a bit larger of the reel, but it's still small and low profile for what it is, but the Cadet obviously is the smaller of the two. Now, both of these are going to be very simple, very easy to use, being more of the push button style reel here. Anybody can use that push button style. Very great for beginners, for elderly people, or people who just might be a little young to be starting in the fishing industry. Well, we got a reel that's going to work great for them. And both the Brutus as well as the Cadet works out great for that. Now, if it's a really small-handed person or a young child, the Cadet, I would have to say, is probably your better option just because it is quite a bit smaller. The Brutus is a bigger reel, boasting bigger options, and we'll get into that here a little more. So now let's take a look here right now. Like we said, they're both low profile, this one being smaller. Both have a push button style, and I believe they're both graphite push buttons. Now, let's go ahead and unscrew the nose cone. As you can see, it comes off pretty easy. And here's a feature to take a look at and take note of: a dual line pickup. Now, some of your higher end reels only come with a dual line pickup. Your more affordable reels will come with a single line pickup. Let's take a look. Let me feed out some lines because I haven't used this reel yet. I just got it. Take this apart. Let's unscrew it. Oh, the nose cone actually comes off in more of like a cam lock style. So that's a difference. More of a cam lock where it, locks into this little notch here, as you can see, to where the Brutus actually unscrews. Dual line pickup. Let's go ahead and screw that on. As you guys can see, it is a screw on. Threads up really easy, really nicely. Aluminum cone, by the way. Coming into the Brutus cam lock style, like I had mentioned, you're going to have a little ear somewhere in here. There it is right there. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Let me see if I can focus. Yeah, right there. There's your little notch. That little lock goes into like a cam lock situation. I got a moth flying around here. Anyways, locks into that. But as you can see, both the Brutus and the Cadet both offer that dual line pickup. That's going to be fantastic and make picking up line for when you do have an early strike and you need to set the hook. That dual line pickup will pull up the slack a lot faster, which will mean better pickups. Let's find that little detent here. Oh, there it is. So let's get that lined up. There we go. Okay, the Cadet has a cam lock style nose cone. Let's reel that up. Both having the dual line pickup. Perfect for picking up line when you got to set the hook or you're trying to chase a fish that's running on you. That's a great setup to offer. Now, both of them are offering a graphite body. So your actual body or your frame or your chassis, whatever you want to call it, are both made of graphite. This is going to mean it's going to be very rigid and very durable, yet lightweight. So that's a great thing there. Plus, keeps your cost down. So here's one of the first biggest things to notice between the two, other than size and color, is the handle. That sticks out like a sore thumb. So you have a dual handle or a dual knob setup on the Brutus, where the Cadet only has a single. Is that a big deal? Maybe, maybe not, because realistically, you can only hold one knob at one time unless you're going to be doing some weird, awkward twist thing here. And I really don't see that being the situation. So really, one handle is all you need, but some people like that extra handle if it means grabbing the handle quicker and easier. maybe that's what you want. If you don't like that and you like the single handle, there you go, good to go. So Cadet rocking one handle or a single handle, where the Brutus has two. Another cool thing and a cool feature about when you purchase these reels, you're gonna purchase them already pre-spooled with monofilament. They both come with mono already pre-lined on them. That's pretty cool. So this one right here, being the Brutus, is coming with a 10-pound test line. I believe it's 10 pound that's on there, and you'll be able to put 10 pounds of test line on there at about 160 yards. If you bump that up to 12-pound test line with mono, you're gonna get about 130 yards, and that's out of the Brutus. Now on the Cadet, it is also pre-spooled with mono, and I think this is about a 6 to 8 pound. I'd have to confirm that. You're gonna be able to achieve on mono 140 yards with 6-pound test. If you're rocking 8-pound test, 110 yards, and if you bump it up to 10-pound test, you're gonna be in the realm of 100 yards of line. And that's pretty cool, if you ask me, to already have it spooled up with mono on there or with fishing line, because this is supposed to be a reel that is perfect for the entry-level angler, or easy for any angler to just grab, screw onto a rod, and start fishing with. So to be pre-spooled already, that means you're that much closer to going out there and wetting a line. All right, so let's touch on gear ratios now, and we'll start with the Cadet. The Cadet is boasting, it's an Admiral 3 1-to-1 gear ratio, not the fastest, definitely not the fastest gear ratio in the world, but you know what, for an entry-level reel, great for children and great for anybody really, a 3 1-to-1 will get you done. It'll get you done, it will. It'll catch some fish. Now granted, you're not gonna be out there burning a buzzbait with it, but you'll be okay. Most people using this reel probably gonna be using a bobber and things like that, so don't really need a very high gear ratio in this style. You can still throw a spinnerbait, you can still throw some other things and slow roll it, be just fine. So that's not that bad. Now, if you get into the Brutus bait caster right here, you can see it's actually a lot faster, being a 4-to-1 gear ratio. So you're gonna be able to move baits a little faster, pick line up a little quicker, and probably, win the war against that pesky fish biting your line. Maybe the weight of the reel is a big deal to you. Now, holding them in your hands, you can tell, granted size and everything tells the tale pretty easily, that the Cadet is quite a bit lighter than the Brutus. But how much lighter, so should we say? Let's take a look. So we're gonna set the Brutus aside, bring in our handy scale, turn it on, zero it, it's 0, so we're gonna 0 it just to make sure. And we're gonna stick it on the scale. Now, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. 7.35 ounces, okay? That's what my scale is saying, which actually, when you look it up online, it comes in at 7.4 ounces. So for my scale to say it's 7.35, that's pretty accurate. So kudos to KastKing on their weight, 7.35, 7.4, and that could be the difference in my scale. But yeah, that's a pretty lightweight reel, made of graphite, some other great components. That's lightweight. Now we're gonna 0 the scale again. Let's bring in the big dog, the Brutus. Still low profile, but not as low profile as the Cadet. Let's take a look. Here we go, setting it on. Wow. So the Brutus is coming in at 10.4 ounces. KastKing has it actually online at 9.88. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't change the line, I didn't add line. This is the line that came on it. Maybe they weighed it without line on it at the time, I don't know. But still, it is only, almost a half an ounce off, that's it. So that's not a big deal. Still coming in right around that 10 ounce weight that they kind of claimed it would be. A little heavy on my scale, but again, they may have weighed it without line on there. That could be the difference. So right now I'm reading 10.45. KastKing's got it papered at 9.88 ounces. So that's pretty good. All right, let's talk about it. It's kind of the elephant in the room, bearings. Now, in these Spincast reels, a lot of times you won't find hardly any bearings at all, or a very minimal amount of bearings. But the Brutus is rocking a 5+1 ball bearing setup. That's pretty good. That's going to mean some smooth operation, great casting, and the ability to fight fish comfortably. The Cadet, on the other hand, not that this is a bad thing. It is a lower down, smaller, lower profile reel, entry level reel, about as affordable as they come. It doesn't have bearings. It's got bushings. Now, some people may go, whoa, that's a deal breaker to not have bearings. But you also got to realize the engineering and the design of this reel doesn't exactly mean it has to have bearings. I mean, granted, bearings, they are the best and they will operate smoother, but if the bushing design is designed correctly, that could mean long amount of service and term use and get the job done just fine while saving money. So the Cadet, it's on a bushing setup as opposed to bearings, where the Brutus is rocking a 5+1 bearing system. Next, let's talk about drag power right here. These guys both offer a drag system to advance your drag or to lighten your drag. You have the little positive, negative. Doesn't get any easier than that. Right on the top of the reel, very easy to access. And as I can say, small or big hands shouldn't have any problem adjusting the drag on the Cadet or on the Brutus. Now the Brutus has more of a detent drag there, where the Cadet is more of just a little bit of pressure. You can kind of feel it. It does not have the detent set up like the Brutus does. So that's one noticeable thing about the Brutus. You can hear it. It is an audible detent drag system. Now, the drag you can expect to receive if you opt for the Brutus option is 11 pounds of premium fish fighting drag power. In the Cadet, you're going to receive 6.6 pounds of drag. Now, granted, this reel here is mainly going to be catching like bluegills, sunfish, trout, smaller species. It is a smaller reel. But you still have 6.6 pounds of premium drag to fight a pretty decent sized fish. The Brutus, going to get you a little more size, a little more robust, and of course, it's going to come with a beefier drag. Now, I don't know if you guys like the different features of these reels. What stands out more to you? I think the Cadet is quite a bit more of an attractive reel. Maybe you like the styling of that honeycomb nose, the blacked out or murdered out look of the Brutus, the dual handle, which, might I add, this is a major thing I did not cover. This handle here can be removed and swapped to that side, much like a spinning reel. You do not have that option in the Cadet. So that's kind of a big deal if you're a righty or a lefty. If you're a righty, well, then you can get a Cadet and be happy all day. If you're a lefty, well, maybe the Brutus is your better option. So, blue and black and silver features, or you can opt for the red, black, and silver features in the Cadet. The Brutus got that murdered out look with the honeycomb features. It is a great setup. So let's break it down. All right, small, low profile. They both are low profile, the Cadet being way more low profile. Both of them push button style reels and very easy to use. Both of them boasting the dual line pickup. And both of them have graphite bodies and aluminum nose cones. Single grip handle, where this has a dual grip handle that is reversible, can go to the other side for lefties and righties. Not a feature found on the Cadet. Both come pre-spooled with fishing line. The gear ratio on the Cadet is a 3:1:1, where the gear ratio on the Brutus is a 4:1:1. Okay, so the weight on these, you're going to find the Cadets coming in at 7.4 ounces, which we found to be fairly accurate. And then, of course, on the Brutus, we weighed a little heavy, but it was still close to the 9.88 ounces that KastKing said it was. Bearings, you got 5+1 in the Brutus. The Cadet opting for a bushing design. The drag, you're going to get a 6.6 pounds of drag in the Cadet, where you're going to get a whopping 11 pounds of drag out of the larger Brutus. Now, the Cadet coming in at a $24.99 price tag. That's dirt cheap. That's awesome. That's a great price point for a pretty decent reel. Then you go into a little bit larger reel and still a really good reel coming in at $32.99. So for not much more money, you're getting quite a few different features. So is the Cadet going to answer the needs that you're after for a small child or an older person? Or are you looking for a bigger, larger bodied reel for maybe a more advanced angler, or you just want the different options in the $32.99 Brutus? Quite a few options to choose from in both categories. I don't know. Which one's right for you? You can find both of these products on KastKing.com as well as Amazon.com. Maybe weight is a big deal to you. Okay. Maybe weight is,